Welcome, welcome, welcome to On Fire to Inspire. I am your host, Aleigha, the Purpose Midwife. I want to thank you so much for joining us this beautiful Tuesday evening. You could have been anywhere else doing anything else, but you chose to spend it with us. And for that, we are totally grateful. As I share and thank our sponsors, I want y'all to do me a favor and hit that share button. So if you do that while I thank our sponsors, we're going to get right on in just a minute. Our topic is going to be the financial benefits of entrepreneurship. So there are a lot of benefits of entrepreneurship. Y'all, I got tongue tied. But I'm thank our sponsors, and if y'all can hit that share button or tag somebody who you know could be really benefit from this information, please share. Thank you so much to Dance with Mina over on Facebook. If you go to Dance with Mina, MENA, we have Zumba and line dance classes every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. If you go over to Dance with Mina, you'll be able to see the scheduling if anything changes. Also, you'll be able to ask for the link if you're virtual, or you can go dance in person. And then we have sensational-galore.com. They also have an Etsy page. And y'all, this is one of my favorite fragrances, y'all. I just put on Pineapple Paradise, and as you can see, it's almost gone. Yeah, might have to reorder. So Pineapple Paradise, they have about 22 scents that we would love as the women, and I think about 6 male scents. So gentlemen, they do have some for you. They have some wonderful smelling ones for you. And that is sensational-galore.com, or check out their Etsy page, sensational-galore. If you are a leader in any capacity, you want to have the book Leadership Inside Trajectory by my big brother and pastor, Ricky D. Surratt, and you can reach him or his book at iworkfaith.com. You can actually purchase it at iworkfaith.com. And then finally, not finally, next to finally, mombizboss.org. If you are a mother, multiple operational manager, and you are an entrepreneur or aspiring entrepreneur, you want to connect with these awesome women. It is mombizboss.org, and just learn. They have meetups, they have virtual monthly meetings, and I tell you, it's just awesome, awesome, awesome. They have great speakers and just some great learning opportunities and possible collaborations. So check out mombizboss.org. Then finally, last but not least, if you don't have any of my books, which I don't know why you wouldn't, you can go to onfiretoinspire.com and you can purchase any of my books over there, or you can go directly to Amazon. And all of my books are in my old name under Aleigha Butler currently until I get released these new ones. Y'all be on the lookout for that. And also go ahead and save the date, October the 25th. We're about 6 months out, but I know some of y'all are busy. And so I need y'all to go ahead and mark your calendar for October the 25th. That is going to be our annual women's conference, and I'll be coming more information forthcoming. But October 25th, mark your calendar. Well, without further ado, we are going to bring on not a guest, but a family member that has been on here numerous times, y'all. We get her to come visit us regularly at Financial Awareness Month, because she got to keep us on the know for our finances. So without further ado, we're gonna bring Lisa Stringer Bailey right on back. Hey, how you doing?
Hey y'all, hey, how you doing, Aleigha?
I am great. I am great. Welcome back to On Fire to Inspire.
Well, thank you for having me back.
Great, 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 great.
I do feel like family, and I'll be on here a couple of times during the year, not just during
Yeah,
April Financial Literacy Month, but I've been on here a couple other times.
yeah.
So
I think you did Black History or something like
Black
that.
History Month, yeah,
Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes. So
So
you
hey, we
sharing with us?
family now, girl.
Yes,
You
we bring
stuck
you
with
here.
me.
Absolutely. Look, you even came to the very first women's conference. So
I
yes,
sure
you're in the
did and enjoyed it, honey. Hopefully, I can make it this time too. This
yes,
year, I need to.
absolutely. Looking forward to it. Now, for those who, even though you're regular family, for those who don't know you, I want you to introduce yourself to the On Fire to Inspire on finance for our listeners.
Oh, well, thank you so much. So, my name is Lisa Stringer Bailey. I'm the owner of Triple M Money Management Matters. My company educates women on how to make more money, save more money, and most importantly, honey, protect the money. And we're protecting our money with life insurance. I'm also a life insurance professional. So, I educate on how to use life insurance not only for a death benefit, but also for living benefits, but to also have that peace of mind and financial security just in case, God forbid, something happens to you or one of your loved ones. You want to make sure that you leave your family with financial benefits, not financial bills. Okay.
Amen, amen, amen. All right, now the topic itself, the financial benefits of entrepreneurship. What does that mean to you as a financial educator and coach?
Wow. Well, having your own business, being an entrepreneur has lots and lots of benefits. And for me, when I finally realized it, it was when my children got to that age. I think it's 17 or 18. It might be 17 because I'm in Georgia. I don't know if it's nationwide or whatever, but well, you can't claim them on your taxes no more, right? So you lose a lot of that money that you would be getting back in your taxes because you don't have anything or anyone to claim after your kids get a certain age. So when I got into entrepreneurship, I realized that being a business owner gives you lots of financial credits that you can use on your tax returns to offset some of the tax bill that you may have if you are a W-2 worker. Now, also, if you just a entrepreneur only, you also get lots of benefits financially, lots of tax breaks, a lot of things that you can write off so that you be able to keep more money in your pocket. Okay, that means more income for your business and for your family. So that's one of the number one financial benefits of being an entrepreneur is the tax benefits, the tax breaks, the tax credits, honey.
Okay, okay. So for the person that says, "Hey, I hear what y'all saying. My child is too old for me to claim anymore,
Right?
and I'm good at baking. How do I make this work for me and open my own LLC or open my own sole proprietorship? What would you suggest for that person?"
Yes, I'm glad you asked that question because a lot of people think just because they got a little side hustle, honey, that they in business, and that is not the case. Okay, unless your business is legalized, where you have registered it with the states that you live in, and you have received and applied for a government federal EIN number. That's just like a social security number, but it's a number for your business, then you are not legit, okay? And you're not getting the proper benefits that you could be getting if you legalized your business. So, what I educate on, and I partnered with this company called Nove that can help you set up your LLC for free. Okay, now don't get scammed because there's a lot of places out there on the internet that say, we can set up your LLC, get you this pretty little binder with all your documents and paperwork in it for $1,000. Girl, bye. Don't fall for the okey doke. Okay, you can get all that set up for free, and I can show you how. But the number one thing I can just tell you right now, you go to the IRS.gov and apply for your EIN number. Have you a business name? Go to your state secretary of state, register that business name, and that's the beginning. That's the foundation of having you a LLC. So it's so important that you take those steps too, like I said, because you want to be legal. And then when you have your EIN number, that's where the tax benefits come in. Because when you do your taxes, if you're a W-2 worker, you can put that EIN number in your taxes as well. Or if you just trying to go entrepreneur, straight up business owner, you ain't trying to do nothing else. This your passion. You want to be a business owner, then you can just file your taxes as a business owner. Now, make sure that's another thing I wanted to stress too. Make sure you have you a tax person, someone that can help you with your taxes, because I talk about taxes now, but I don't do taxes. Okay, because it's so I have somebody else do my taxes because there's so many benefits and things out there that I might miss, and you want to make sure you get enough professional to do that for you, so you can get everything that belongs to you.
All right. So Lisa, we're gonna have to get you to put that link in there so that they, if they're interested, you can help them with your Nove link to
Oh,
get
I
it set
sure
up.
will.
Uh,
Hmm.
all right. So, y'all, she said that there are so many things that you can get done and so many benefits, but you got to be legal. You just can't have this fly by night company and not have all the appropriate things. Now, what about for your 1099 people who are contractors? How, how's that beneficial to them for these things?
Same thing. Same thing. You want to make sure you have your own business. Most 1099 contractors have their own business. Okay. The 1099 is if you're working for a business or organization, and they will give you a 1099 to show how much money they paid you. And then they'll
Mhm.
also turn that into the IRS. So you have to make sure you have those documents on hand, because what the 1099 shows is how much money you making. Okay. So you definitely want to keep track of that as well. Because, like I said, the organization is going to turn it into the IRS, and you want to make sure you claim it. Make sure you claim it. But also, like I said, get you a tax professional who can show you all the ways that you can offset all the money that you're making, so you don't have to pay as much taxes on it. That makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, so yeah, those 1099s definitely is another form of a business. That's another form of a business owner. And I wanted to also just talk to my ladies, maybe some work from home moms, who might be homemakers who don't work outside of the home, but they want to make their own money, which I strongly suggest that women do that, and they can have a home based business. I don't know if people have heard of things, like Mary Kay, some of the small businesses like that, or if you remember Avon or Tupperware, things like that. It's a lots of businesses out now that that do that business strictly from direct sales associates, and that's a perfect opportunity and a perfect example of a home-based business. So if you are doing any of those things like that, that can also be considered a home-based business and a business. And I suggest, if you don't have a LLC, open up a LLC and run those expenses through that LLC if you are doing the home based business things.
Okay, perfect. Now, for a person that they had gone to sleep for a little while and they woke back up.
Okay.
What do we say to these people?
I mean, I don't understand the question.
Okay, they
Let's
went to
say that
sleep.
again.
They went to sleep on the business.
I went, okay, so they had a business.
They had a
They
business,
had a business, okay.
and then I guess they went and worked for somebody else. And
Uh
then they
huh.
said, you know what, I'm gonna do my business again. So they started doing, a little bit of both again. What would you
Uh
say to
huh.
that person? Because I run into those type of
Oh, well, yeah, you can definitely start it back up again. You just got to re-register now with the state, because most states you have to register every year. And if you don't register, then they assume that your business is closed and they'll close out your registration. So just go to the Secretary of State and see what your status is. See if make sure ain't nobody else got it now, because that's another thing. If you don't wait it too long, somebody else might not got your name. But if not, then see if you can reopen it. Just reactivate it. Now, the EIN number, I think it stays in effect forever unless you contact them and say, I no longer want to use this EIN number. So I don't think that's the problem. But you do have to be registered with the state that you are doing business in.
let's talk about let's talk about some of the benefits that they get. You know, some of the things they get to be able to write off, because some things they're going to be like, what? I'm a
Hmm.
business owner, and I really been sleeping on all that. You know, what would you say to that, to them,
Uh-oh,
on
hold
some,
on.
just some of the things that they're able to?
Okay, the main thing that I know of is your house. If you are working from your home, if you have an office in your house, the square footage or of that room where your office is can be written off as a percentage of the mortgage that you pay, the if the interest that you pay on that mortgage can be written off as well because you use your home as a home-based business. If you use the internet, okay, which we all use the internet, so you definitely want to write off a percentage or a portion of the internet that you use. If you drive and meet your clients, you meet your clients for dinner, for lunch, for coffee, and maybe you meet them in a co-working space, and maybe the co-working space charge you $20 to $25 for a little conference room. You can write all that off. You can write all that off. So keep up with your mileage, the gas that you use. You can write that off. Again, the meals, you can write off meals. Long as you're talking about business, you meeting with a client. Keep track of it now. You gotta keep track just in case of the A word. You don't want that. You don't want to be caught with an audit and you ain't got no paperwork to back it up. Even with travel, it like for me, I've started to travel more with my speaking for speaking engagements, or I've traveled to other states for business meetings. Your travel can be written off too. My flight, my Uber driver, uh, my suitcase, $30 for the suitcase, all that get written off under travel expenses for my business. And that's just the beginning. There's so many things um that you can write off as a business owner. Again, let me reiterate. Get you a tax professional, someone that you trust, and maybe you got a referral for that can help you with your taxes. Now, I'm gonna drop this link right here. If you can put it over into the comments, I couldn't get it into the comments, but I
Okay,
did put it in the chat. If you can pull it up.
okay,
So, yeah, that's just the beginning of the items that you can and training. If you have to have a training class, if you go back to school to enhance your business for any type of thing, licensing, all that is a write off for your business.
okay. So y'all getting to see the benefits. There are so many benefits of having your own business, and I think so many people are afraid
Mhm.
to step out there. And it's like you can
Mhm.
still work your job and still do the things you love as well. You
You
know, you may
can.
just do
You
it on
can.
weekends, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and that would be one thing too that I would tell people if it's like if you have a hobby, something that you just love to do, and if you're in a financial position where you need some extra income for whatever reason, pay down debt, save up for a home, pay your car off early, whatever the issue, monetize it. Like I said, get your LLC. I heard one coach that I listened to online say you can LLC your name. To say, for instance, you can't think of a business. Say, I don't know what kind of business I can open. Girl, LLC your name, Lisa Stringer Bailey LLC. That's all you need to do. And you got an address, use your home address, phone number. That's all they're gonna ask you. And what kind of business you gonna open now. You can be if like again, what's your hobby? Like you were saying, if you love to bake, then your business would be I'm a cook, I'm a caterer, I'm a baker, food services, whatever it's options online that you can choose from. Um but what I tell people is do something that you're passionate about. So it's fun for you. And then maybe you just never know. If it's God's will, it might be something you are purpose to do. Like my business, I feel like it's a purpose from God that I educate on financial literacy because of the financial things that I went through, and the life insurance that was not in place when my parents died, and it's just a whole situation. So and it was very detriment to my finances because I didn't have the finances for it, but I had to do some things that I would rather not have done to get the money to, lay my father to rest. But that's why it's a passion for me, because I don't want nobody else to go through what I went through, because I'm just the type of person where I start learning. And when I started learning about life insurance, I was like, now why don't more people know about this? Why I didn't know about this, right? And it's because another thing that I talk about in my coaching program is we don't communicate like we should about it. In our community, it's just almost so hush hush. People don't want to talk about money. They don't want to talk about the money problems they have. They don't want to talk about, and they could be a little ashamed because they don't know the information. But I always tell people that's not your fault if you don't know. We only knew what our parents knew, or we can only go by what we learn in school, and the schools don't teach it. Unfortunately, they don't teach it to the depth that they should, right? So I became passionate about it. So that's why my business came from Triple M Money Management Matters LLC. Okay, so it's something out there for you. You just have to decide, what is it that I want to do, what change I want to make in the world. That's another thing to think about. If you are service type of person, you want to serve people. How do you want to serve people? Do you want to serve them? Like another example is home care for the elderly. That's a big service that's missing in our society, because that's something I went through with my aunt. Couldn't find good home care for her that was reasonable. It's some out there, but they're so expensive. And then they don't realize that a lot of senior citizens didn't set aside money for that. That's another thing. They're not looking toward the future. They didn't have the life insurance with the long term care that you can attach to it. Okay. That's another benefit of having life insurance, but we just didn't know these things. So, but that's another area that you can get into if you like to serve the elderly. If you love working with our older generation, our seasoned people, when they can't get to the doctor, or they need someone to sit with them, during their senior years, that's a business you can open up right there. Home Care LLC. That's the one on TV. I can't think of the name of the one that I see a commercial on all the time. Sweet Angels or Angel something. But a lot of times those big conglomerate ones are very expensive. So the smaller business owner can, step into that area, into that space, and make a lucrative income from it. Just a few examples.
Those are some great examples. Great
Mhm.
examples. I mean, I'm sure that there are so many people that have, hobbies that they're like, you know what? I never thought about that. I never thought about monetizing my gifts or monetizing what I enjoy doing, And so this may be some light bulb moments for some people tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It all comes down to money. How are you using your money? How are we thinking about our money? How can we help more people by having more money? That's another thing I tell my clients. A lot of my clients are Christian based. They Christians, right? And they want to be able to help. They want to be able to give to different organizations, but they can't because they don't have the finances, because their money management skills are not where they need to be. But that's another way to help service your community. Start your home based business, and use that money for straightening out your own finances. Then once you get your finances in a good place, then take that same money from your home based business and give it to the nonprofit organization that you want to help, right? Or you can what they say, that's another benefit when you give or sponsor a nonprofit. Some You can write that off on your taxes as well. Let's say if you made $10,000 in your business, but you gave 5,000 to a nonprofit, then that 5,000 you can write that off That's what a lot of wealthy people do too. If you've ever noticed, a lot of our wealthy people, when they start sponsoring nonprofit organizations, giving $100,000 and stuff like that, it's like trying to get their tax bill down.
Absolutely.
You know, because
Absolutely.
if they keep the money in their bank, they don't have to pay taxes on it. But if they give it away, which is another way of marketing, because they gonna make that money back. Because people be like, oh, that's a good company. They giving to one of my favorite organizations. Oh yeah, I'm gonna support them. I'm gonna eat there all the time. I'm gonna shop there all the time. I'm gonna do whatever. So you have to be smart when you're a business owner. You start learning things like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anything else that we want to share with them tonight that we really want to drive on in as far as the benefits of being an entrepreneur?
One of the other things I like to tell people too is being your own business owner, you can if you do it full time, and which is what one of the things that I'm hoping to do real soon myself, is you can make your own schedule. Okay, you ain't got to ask nobody for no time off to be with your mama and them or your dad and them or your children and them when they need you, right? You ain't got to go to a boss or a supervisor and say, I need to take this time off and get, the dreaded no, we can't because it's this time of the month is the high sales month. I don't know, whatever kind of excuse they come up with to keep you from taking time off. But you ain't got to do all that, right? You can make your own schedule. It can be as flexible as you want to. And nowadays, honey, a lot uh of business is done online on their computer right here where we at, right? So you can do business anywhere. So just say for instance you want to take you a vacation, honey, go on vacation, take your laptop and do your work while you on vacation from the beach, all that kind of stuff. So that's one of the main things I like too about having my own business is it's very flexible. I set my own hours. Right now, while I am working full time, I work my business from about 6 o'clock to about 9 or 10 o'clock, or I can work it just on the weekends, or however it fits into your schedule. So that's a good thing as well. Um, what else did I want to say? I had another thought, but right here, since it's April, Financial Literacy Month, it's also tax day. I think today is the last day that you can file your taxes without, penalties or making sure you get an extension in there. But what I want to tell people is think differently about your taxes. When you get your tax refund, if you still get a refund, think about how you're going to use that money in a way that's beneficial. Because it's a good time to invest that money into a small business, into a home-based business. Most businesses you have to invest something, okay? Like a lot of the businesses I'm in, the investment might have been $99, might have been $350, $1,000. It just depends on the business that you're trying to get into. But just know it's an investment. You got to invest money to make money. So think about when you get your taxes refund or if you get a bonus at your job. I'm just trying to get people to think about ways to think differently about money. If you get a bonus, instead of taking the bonus and going shopping with it, think about, well, what home based business can I open? Do some research, ask around, say, I'm looking to make some extra money. Do you know anybody or do you know anything that's a good investment? Let's say if you only had $500, but you want to invest it into a business, then ask around. What business can I open for $500? You can open an online business for less than $500. Matter of fact, if you wanted to do, I think a lot of people get into the t-shirt and the merchandise type of business. That's something that you can start for under $500 because all you got to do is, I think you got to get a press machine if you want to go that route, or you just need like Canva. Canva is, I think, $30 a month, maybe a little more if you get the highest one, and just get in there and start playing around with graphics. You start playing around with letters. If you have a saying that you always say and you be like, oh, that'd make a good t-shirt, then go ahead and put it on Canva, make it real pretty, and you can sell it on something like Etsy. Okay. You can just sell the design. You ain't even got to sell a t-shirt. Just sell the design and people will buy the design and they'll put it on the t-shirt. It's so many different ways. It's so many different ways that you can make money these days that it's really heartbreaking to me when I hear people having financial issues when I'm thinking you really shouldn't because there's so many ways that you can make money. There's so many ways you got to start your business. Start the business.
So true. Start it. And I like how you said, think differently when you get your tax money. Think differently. Not I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy that. What can I do that's going to be, I can see it later. Not I just bought these shoes and I can't fit them no more. I don't like them anymore. You know?
Yes. Yes. I tell people get something that's going to appreciate in value. Okay.
Mhm.
And that's your business. Your business can appreciate if you work it.
Yeah.
It's work. Now, that's one thing, one disadvantage about having a business is you're working for yourself. And sometimes it depends on how hard you want to work or how much money you want to make, but it's going to be some work you got to put in. And sometimes you may work harder for yourself than you do for someone else. So it's all in really what your hopes and dreams and desires are, where you want to be in life, what legacy you want to leave for your children, things like that. I think a lot of us as Americans grew up on the small business. We grew up on small business. And I think we need to get back to that, especially in the black communities. We need to get back to business, small business ownership, and showing our people how to build businesses, thriving businesses, and keep it within our community. But girl, that's a whole nother broadcast. But yeah, financial literacy month is a perfect time, though. I truly feel it's a perfect time to think about starting your own business. So you can get more money coming in, you can get more financial literate. Because I tell you something else, we just talked about some of the financial benefits. Having your own business will really have you thinking about how money works in the economy, and what it takes to run a business, what it takes to market a business, what it takes to buy the material or the products that you need and then resell it. Like one thing that I learned, and I didn't even realize this, a lot of the products that we have, and we may spend, let's just say $50 for I just say a purse because I'm a purse girl. Girl, it don't make no sense. Lord working on me with this purse business. But I buy purses. I might spend $50 on a purse, but you know what? I've learned that same purse was probably made in a foreign country for maybe $5.
What?
$5 or 10 at the most. So what's the markup on that? Almost 90% markup. So it
Hmm.
makes you think about how money works in our world, in our economy. Something that we don't think about when we at the store buying stuff. We just out here buying all willy nilly. We ain't even thinking about where this item come from. How much did it really take to make this item?
Hmm.
And then that makes me feel like I'm wasting $40. I might as well I could keep this $40.
You
Or
need to
or
know?
I can become a business owner. I can
Yeah.
buy your wholesale for 10 and resell it for 50.
Hey, exactly.
Get in the game or get left behind.
Absolutely.
So I
Absolutely.
said, I'm about to get in the game, honey. This about that money. We trying to get our money up.
So, Lady Legacy, I mean, Lady Leadership Live
Leadership
said,
lady live.
Leadership
Hey.
Lady Live said, she said something a while ago that I meant to tell you. She said a lot of people are living on that 10% rule. Where did she say it? Hold on,
What
I've been
does
taking
that
notes.
mean? Let me see what she said.
Hold on, I'm looking for it. Goodness, I should have said it then, but I didn't want to interrupt you. Um, she said,
Many
"Give me a
follow the
minute."
10% principle. Ask her to elaborate. What's the 10% principle?
Leadership
If
lady
she's still
live.
there.
Oh yeah, she's still here. She said, elaborate on the 10% rule. Business leaders contribute 10%.
Oh, to nonprofit organizations, yeah. Yeah, business owners contribute 10% of all their income, you saying? Yes. Or we call it
Yes, we
tithing.
can
Okay.
retire. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah,
Because they're trying to bring down their tax bill. Bring down that tax bill. And the same, like you said, same with tithing. When we tithe, a lot of times we will use that on the personal side, to
yes.
bring down our tax bill. So,
Um,
yeah.
I also learned that due to the storm, because the storm hit us pretty bad here in South Carolina. So due to the storm, the tax deadline for South Carolina has been extended to May 1st. So those of you who
Nice.
have not had the opportunity to do so, you have a little bit longer. So May 1st is the deadline.
Okay. Is Leadership Lady Live? Is that what's her real name? Is that the young lady from New York? Because it looked like her from the picture. I can't recall due to the
Um,
hurricane. Okay, that's good. That's good. I didn't know y'all had a hurricane, Helene. Is that this year or last year?
September 27th, it was,
Last
whoo.
year. Okay.
Mhm. We were actually a state of emergency. It was bad. They're
Oh,
still doing FEMA restoration too.
Denise Miller. Hey, how you doing, honey? I
Hey,
thought
Mr.
that
Moon.
must have been you when I saw the leadership. How you doing?
Okay.
Thank you for
Yes,
joining tonight.
yes. Thank you for joining us. Um,
Yes.
Thank you so much, Pastor T, for the information for South Carolina residents as well, because I wasn't aware of that.
Mm,
So I definitely, I'm glad you said it so we can share it. So she shared
mm,
it on YouTube, but I was able to share it on all the platforms. So thank you so much for
good.
that. Um, Anything else you want to share that stands out?
Um, it's so much. Just definitely, if you all not following me already, follow me on Facebook at Lisa Stringer Bailey. My business page is Triple M Money Management Matters. I'm actually doing lives almost every day this month for Financial Literacy Month, trying to share some financial tips, financial facts with my audience. And sharing a financial prayer because I got a new book out. Do you mind if I shout out my new book?
Okay.
So last year I wrote Finding Favor with Your Finances. And look, I
Hmm.
got my thing on. And the follow up to that is this book. It's called The Favor Factor. And this
Okay.
is prayers. It's actually prayers for your finances, prayers for your life, situations in your life, and of course if you're in business, if you're a business owner, you can pray for favor in your business. But this is a follow-up from the finding favor in your finance, because I want you to not only find favor but maintain that favor, okay, throughout the rest of your life. And of course, we all as Christians know it takes prayer, because Lord knows we backslide. We backslide in our finances. We get into financial situations that we have to get ourselves back out of. And it's okay if you do, you just pick yourself up, say your prayers, and start over again, right? So I have that one for sale if you're interested in picking those up. But I've been sharing some of the prayers on my Facebook Lives this month.
And
And
how they find that on your page? They actually
it's on my page, it's on my website at lisastringerbailey.com.
okay. All right. So y'all check out Lisa Stringer Bailey on Facebook, and then also Triple P. I mean Triple Triple M. Ah, Triple M Money Matters over on Instagram.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm. Manage money matters. Mhm.
All right, and you'll be able to follow her, y'all. She's going live and she's giving information. She's not charging for this information. She's giving us information. She's sharing prayers over our businesses, over our finances. And so when someone's a giver like this, guess what? It's got to come back to her. But guess what? You need to go ahead and go. partake
Yes.
and be able to learn these things. So she's been able to be such a blessing to us tonight. Thank you for
Oh, you
sharing
are
that
so
with us.
welcome. Thank
Um,
you for having me. I enjoy, like you said, I enjoy sharing and giving back because I truly believe that's why God has favored me so much in my finances. After I went through the ordeal with my dad, and I started learning. Learn is that education. Financial
yeah,
literacy is so important. We got to know how our money works so it can work for us. We got to get into better habits of saving money. I talk about it all the time, making money and saving money. Okay. And the saving starts with not only just, and you spoke about it last week, Aleigha, saving money in a high yield savings account, in a savings account that's in a separate bank from where you got your checking account. So it's out of sight, out of mind, and
mhm,
automate it, make it a automated draft from your checking account to your to the savings account. And as a business owner too, what you want to do is have a portion of your income going into a business savings account, or either going to that same personal high yield savings account, so that all the money that you're making is not going back into the business. Because a lot of people say, well, everything I make goes back into the business, which it probably do. But if you intentionally say, I'm going to keep 10%, or I'm going to keep 20% for my savings, for myself. As a solo business owner, you have to pay yourself something. I don't know whatever your financial situation is, but you need to get in the habit of paying yourself something so that your business won't be a detriment. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people get in business and they get overwhelmed because if you're putting all the money back in your business, you're not having anything to live on, or have anything to play with, or have anything that you see. You have to see, a little something from your labor, right? So make sure that you set something up automatic to come from your business account to your personal account, or your personal savings account.
that's some great information. I hope y'all learned some stuff tonight because she was dropping the look, she was dropping the jewels, she was dropping the golden nuggets. So if y'all missed any of this, or if you have some people that you know would benefit from them, y'all go ahead and have them, with the replay, or y'all have them better yet go to YouTube because we're still building over there in that channel. Go over to YouTube, look up Aleigha the Purpose Midwife, subscribe, like, and then have them actually listen. But I want you to write out what stood out with you tonight? Because Lisa gave us some stuff, y'all. She gave us some stuff. I may have to go back and listen and remind myself of some more stuff. And
Okay, it's a lot. It's a learning, continuous learning when it comes
yes,
to your money. And a lot of people don't do that. They ignore that part. And then that's why they in the predicament they in, because they just stop learning. Because it's a lot. It is a lot. It
yeah.
is a lot. So I understand.
Evangelist says, thank you so much for tonight. She enjoyed it and enjoyed all the information.
Thank you. Thank you for joining.
All right, Lisa. Well, we thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you. Y'all make sure y'all go follow her Facebook,
Facebook at Lisa Stringer Bailey. And
Instagram,
then my Instagram is Manage Money Matters. Manage Money Matters.
Manage Money Matters. Gotcha. I sure
Mhm.
typed that in wrong. I put in triple M and then I put management.
Yeah, it's a little weird on Instagram. It's just Manage Money Matters. But again, I'm on YouTube as well at Money Management Matters. It's a lot of M's. Money Management Matters on YouTube. So
Money
check
management.
me out there as well. Hmm.
Okay, we got it. All right, y'all. Thank you so much, Lisa, for joining us tonight and being so freely
You're
to
welcome.
share, and help us. Because look, it's like they said, what problem do you solve? And so you're bringing you're solving so many problems by being the blessing that God has called you to be. So you keep doing what you're doing,
Thank you.
and when you get a second, go over to the when we end, go over to the YouTube link and add in your Nove link over there as well.
Okay, I
Okay.
will.
All right. Thank you so much again.
You're
Have a good one.
welcome. Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. All right, y'all. So yes, leadership, Lady Live, multiple streams of income. We got to, y'all. You got to. I mean, with all these layoffs and things of that nature, you know, I remember when I was doing some multi-level marketing, network marketing, some years ago. This guy said to me, I was selling healthcare savings plans, and he said to me that he would always have multiple streams of income coming in because corporate America would never dictate whether his family eats again or not. And I was like, that's deep. What you know, where did this come from? And he said, well, a layoff happened from nowhere and he had no other income. He was like, so they dictated whether my family ate or not. He said, that'll never happen to me again. And so I say to you, we learned so much from Lisa tonight. Let's apply what we've learned. Let's not just be hearers, let's be doers and let's make this happen because we have so much talent and it's time for us to live it out and walk these things out. Well, I will see y'all next week, same time, same place. I'm Aleigha, the Purpose Midwife with On Fire to Inspire. I'll see y'all then. Have a blessed and awesome rest of your week.